Yo, what is good, guys? Your boy Bear is finally bringing you some Ursarctic content, and this is pure Ursarctics. There is no Deep Sea Diva, no Invoke engine, none of that. Your boy has the pure spice for Ursarctics. And if you guys are interested in the deck profile and stuff, that will be coming up in a later video, so make sure you subscribe. So, we are actually playing against a high-rated DB player who is piloting Infernobles. So for our opening hand, we don't open too much to do turn 1. We just set a slider which can get back one of our banished or in the graveyard Ursarctics. And we open up Caddy, which is really nice because that way we're able to search out the best level 7, which is the McPolar. So, our opponent will draw into a contact seat, which actually isn't too bad against this deck, but I don't think it will really come up here. They're going to start off with Heritage, equipping it to, or sorry, not equipping it, just to add a Noble Knight monster, or a Noble Knight card, or a Noble Arms card, which is the Durandal here. And this is the one that they're going to equip to the Caddy, I believe, to search. So yeah, they're going to equip it to the Caddy. They're going to search out a Super Quantum Red Layer, which is completely fine because on the summon of this, we'll be able to activate Caddy's effect to bounce it back to our hand and search out a Beast Monster from our deck, which is perfect to search out McPolar. So what McPolar allows us to do is when we discard a tribute a level 7 or higher monster from our hand, we can special summon it, and then it allows us to search for any of our Ursarctic monsters. So our opponent is going to extend with a Fire Flint Lady, now going into an Isolde, which we will chain a Phantasme to. And yeah, Phantasme is also very, very good in this deck because it is a level 7 or higher. So even if it is dead in your hand, you can always just tribute it to bring out one of your Ursarctic monsters. So they're going to activate Assault's second effect here to send 3 for cost, and we have no choice but to Ash this one because they're probably going to bring out the Aqua Dolphin, and if they do, they're just going to rip the Ash out of our hand anyways, so this is probably as good of a time as ever. So next, they're going to use their normal summon on Oliver, and they're going to go into the Helki Fibrax combo, which, yeah, I know, we're all tired of seeing this from like 2 formats ago, but here they are. Infernoble's doing absolutely nothing new, bringing out the Despot, to which we will chain the McPolar here, sending the Megatanus to the graveyard. We'll activate McPolar's effect here to search out an Ursarctic card. We are going to search out a Mega Billish just for potential follow-up in a following turn. And here I'm going to have a quick think. I'm going to activate the slider here because I feel like maybe if I Book of Moon the Despot 001, then maybe my opponent will have no follow-up turn, or sorry, no follow-ups to go after this. They can't go into the Auroradon, and maybe that will end their turn. So I bring back the Megatanus, I Book of Moon their Despot, but unfortunately for me, they do have the Gearfried in hand, and they do have other follow-up. So yeah, they're going to attach the Oliver to the Gearfried. They're going to special summon out the Renaud. The Renaud will add them back a Living Fossil. And from here, they're just going to go off. They're going to retrieve the Phoenix Blade from the graveyard as well. They're going to link off into a Unicorn, not even using the Unicorn effect, which is very smart because I do have the Phantasme. They're going to bring back the Renaud with the Living Fossil. They're going to link those off, go into the Axis code, and unfortunately, they do have 3 different attributes in the graveyard. So they're just going to go pop, pop, pop. And with that, they have 8,300 on board, which is more than enough for game. So yeah, it looks like game number 1 was very unfortunate for me, but I do promise that game 2 will be much better. So I will choose to go first again, and I know my first turn does seem underwhelming, but honestly, this deck does just want to hold its cards in its hand, which isn't a bad thing. You kind of catch your opponent off guard. So we did open McPolar and Departure, which also is a fantastic card because, yeah, you don't really go puss off it because essentially you're trading 2 to get 2. But the thing is, it does have a graveyard effect that when you pass, on your opponent's turn, you can literally just use it as the tribute fodder in the graveyard for one of your Ursarctic cards, which is very good because that way you don't have to discard anything, which is amazing, because the one biggest complaint about this deck is that, you know, you're discarding and you're losing all your hand advantage. So we do have the Nibiru, the Ash, which is fantastic on its own. Then we have the McPolar for the search. Again, we have the Book of Moon. And in case you don't know what the Mega Polar does, this is just a spell trap pop, which isn't a big deal here. So our opponent will normal summon the Neo Space Connector, which we will have to meet with the Ash Blossom, because again, they will just bring out the Aqua Dolphin, and that's something we don't want to see because that will make us lose our Ash. So they're going to use the Durando on the connector. They're going to search a Firefront Lady as an extender here, just so they can go into their Isolde play. This time, I'm feeling a lot better because I have the Nibiru, so I can let them extend a bit further. And if it comes to it, and they do have the Gearfried in hand again, I do have a Megatanus play to just Book of Moon it. So they're going to go into the Isolde here, adding the red layer. Next, they're going to use the effect of Isolde to go for 4, which I assume is to bring out the Tuner Monster here. So yeah, they bring back, or no, sorry, not even the Tuner Monster. They're going to summon the Ogier here. And next, they're going to use Rhoda here to add a copy of Renaud. So Renaud will get special summon here. Adding the Gearfried to hand, they're going to go into the Halki Fibrax here, using the Hulk effect to summon out the Despot 001. And here I'm still holding it. No panic whatsoever. They didn't even summon out the Gearfried yet, so it's completely fine. They're going to go prematurely into a token, but yeah, they're going to go into the Auroradon here, special summon out 3 tokens. The Despot will activate, and at this point, I'm going to Nibiru just in case they do go into the Herald right after, and then I won't be able to nib. So yeah, this is the perfect time to nib. We're going to put the token on their side of the field in defense mode, bring out the Nibiru. They're going to special summon out the Gearfried, and here I am not going to let them equip anything to it because that is not going to be a very good idea. I'm going to use the McPolar in my hand to pitch the Mega Polar because I don't see that really doing anything in this matchup. So yeah, I'm going to search the Mega Billis from my deck. So this is the one where I can banish something from their graveyard. Next, I'm going to be special summoning out the Megatanus using the Departure in the graveyard as material. So I do get to say something in my hand. I'll use the Megatanus to target the Immortal Phoenix Gearfried to Book of Moon it. And at that point, my opponent just scoops it up, which is perfect for me. So we are now siding for game number 3, and as you can see, Ursarctics are actually a pretty cool deck, and somehow a Book of Moon in hand seems to be a pretty good effect. So undoubtedly my opponent will want to go first here because they do want to combo off. So for our opening hand, we have the Departure, we have a Gaia the Fierce Knight, which we're seeing for the first time, an Ash, a McPolar, and a Departure. So honestly, for an opening hand, it's kind of weak to go second, but it's okay. So our opponent will summon out the Ogier, sending the red layer, using the Durando here to add an extender. They'll add a Firefront Lady again. Undoubtedly, they're going to special summon this out and go into their Isolde place here. So the Isolde comes out, will activate to add a card to hand, which will be a red layer. Next, they're going to use the effect to send 3, and again, we're going to have to Ash it because we would lose this card anyways to Dolphin. They're going to activate Tactics, which I play around very, very smart. I'm going to activate the McPolar here, pitching the Gaia for cost to summon it out just to make sure they can't hit any of my monsters in my hand, since they did choose to use the hand effect, and I do have 2 Departures. The Departure will get shuffled back, but it's no big deal. I have another one in hand. So now we'll be able to activate McPolar Chainlink 1 and Gaia Chainlink 2. So yeah, I do actually have a search target for this. I am playing a Black Luster Soldier Envoy of the Beginning. And off the McPolar, I'll be able to add the Megatanus. So in case you're curious, my lights and darks in this deck are the Gaia, and I am playing Phantasme. So you can either pitch the Phantasme off the Departure, pitch the Phantasme off of summoning one of your Ursarctics, or in general, you could just summon Phantasme if it comes up, right? Which is pretty cool, because you're going to pitch this anyways to search the BLS. So yeah, it does come up where you do summon this, but a lot of times it is just extra tribute fodder, which is very nice because when you're tributing, you're not really losing anything. So here, they'll use the Chalice to search out, I believe it was a Renaud if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so it is the Renaud. I don't think they can extend any further here though. No, they can't, right? They're looking in their graveyard and they just passed on the Ysolde, which is absolutely perfect for me. So I draw into a Megatanus. So now I have fodder to tribute, or not, to send for the departure. And I also think I have a way to play. I can go into my synchro plays here. So I'm going to choose to search, or yeah, to use the departure to search here. So I'm going to pitch a Megatanus because I do have two. I'm going to search out a Megabilis here and a McPolar. So the Megabilis, I will be able to banish the Phoenix Blade, which is kind of nice because that way they don't just have free discard fodder. So I believe the Megabilis is what I will choose to use here first. So yeah, I'm going to pitch the BLS because it is kind of dead here. I don't have a Dark in the graveyard. So the Megabilis will come out. I will banish the Phoenix Blade here. And now we can go into our level 1 Synchro, which is the Ursarctic Polari. So Polari on Special Summon will allow us to activate our field spell from our deck, which is fantastic. And next, our field spell will allow us to banish from our graveyard instead of tributing once per turn. So now we can bring back our level 8. And now that we have our Tuner and our Polari, we can go into one of our Ursarctic Synchro monsters. So we're going to Synchro right into the Septentrion, which is very nice because now we have 2 counters on Big Dipper. If we can get to 7, which for Infernobles, they do have to extend, they do have to special summon. So getting to 7 might be kind of easy here. We're going to run over the Ysolde. We don't have much else to do here. We're going to hit them for a bit of damage, just 1400. But now their extra deck monsters cannot activate their effects if they do not have a level. So honestly, their only play is to go into Charles. So they'll draw the Aqua Dolphin for a turn. Unfortunately for them, it won't do much here because if they do an Aqua Dolphin play, you know, they can extend into Renaud and they don't have any other extenders. Well, I mean, that's not true. They can go into Red Layer here, so they still can Aqua Dolphin, but I don't know if they'll go that route. So my opponent is just asking what I have in my hand, just confirming what they do know, which is the McPolar here. They're going to special summon out the Red Layer, which is fine. So the Red Layer will add back a Red Layer. They're going to normal summon an Oliver, and here they're going to Synchro into a Charles. So I will gain 4 counters on this. Before they're able to do anything else, I absolutely have to Book of Moon this. So I'm going to activate the Megatanus effect using the departure in my graveyard to banish it in order to get a free special summon here. And then I'm going to Book of Moon the Charles before they can equip anything to it, before they can pop anything on my field. I will be at 5 counters here, and my opponent will just scoop it up because hypothetically, if we think about it, if they special summon 2 more times, right? I would just be able to take the Charles here with the Big Dipper, or honestly, even if they special summon 1 more time, I'd still be able to do that because I can summon out the McPolar since I haven't used the field spell's ability to banish from my graveyard, and that would be 7 summons. And if we take the Charles, we have the Septentrion, and then we have the Megatanus. That is more than enough for game, right? So yeah, guys, this is the pure Ursarctics. No Deep Sea Diva engine, no Invoked engine. Let me know if you like how this deck looks down in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Bear, signing off. Peace, guys.